Moi kaikki. That's Finnish and means hi everyone. And I'm Hanna from Sheep's Alley podcast, where I talk about knitting, crocheting and other crafting things. And I podcast from Kuopio, Finland. So welcome, and let's start with finished objects, which I have quite a few. First one is the biggest one. It's this one. It's the fat-bottomed bag, which I got inspired from the shoot. What was the podcast called? I'll have to check my notes. Craft Non Treats crochet podcast, yes. And last time I showed you the crochet piece which I had made, and now I have the finished bag, which is quite cute, I think. And the lining here, I think I'll turn this around upside down, you'll see. I had this piece of fabric in my fabric stash. I have had it for 5 years, I think. I was going to sew a dress, but then lost the interest and never did. And I thought that this would work very well as the lining for this fat-bottomed bag. And these pockets, this one and that one, has been recycled from my husband's old shirts. So I think this turned out quite cute. And I have used this bag to carry my gym gear to the gym. And you can bet that no one else at my gym has this kind of gym bag. But I think it's kind of summery and fun. And I'm very pleased with the result. I put these decorations here. I bought this thread from Kuopion Nappi and Nauha craft store, and I think they match this colorful crochet pattern quite well. So I have a neat crochet bag, and that's my first whip. FO. Every single time I mix those two. Then I have 2 socks. I think I talked about the Tour de Sock sock competition, that I was going to knit those socks and not knit the 2 whips which I showed you the last time, but ta-da! I changed my mind. And these are the first finished objects, which are Gina's with brownie knits, her sock recipe socks, and the yarn is Knit Picks Felici in Countess colorway. So this yarn, this kind, very soft and lovely to work with. And I made the garter stitch heel, and then I made this ribbon thing on the bottom. I have never made this kind of ribbon at this point of the foot, but these fit quite well. These are not for me. A very dear friend of mine will turn 50 at the end of July, and she has always admired my hand knit socks, and she doesn't have hand knit socks, so I made these socks to Anu, and they are really nice. I think they turned out just perfect. And the second finished object, which I also showed you the last time, that I'm not going to work with them. Well, I did, and because I had started those socks and I was going to use something, some kind of cable pattern for them, but because the Tour de Sock started, and I thought that I'm going to knit only cheerleading and knitting, so no collecting points or anything, so I could modify each pattern as much as I wanted. So I'll show you the pattern first. So this is the stage 1 pattern, looking like this. And this is, I don't even know how many times you make the pattern repeats on the actual pattern, but I only made 1 pattern repeat. This is how it looks on the, let's say, the inner side of the sock, and this is how it looks on the outer side of the sock. So the pattern is only on the other side and only 1 pattern repeat. And I think these look really nice. But no points because I'm not competing. And the yarn is Stranded Dye Works Oasis Base in Sky Scraper colorway. This yarn is very, very lovely to knit. I need to order more of this yarn from the UK. So I have 2 socks finished. Then I can't show you the actual shawl because I have already given it as a gift, but I can show you the photos. I just took a print of my raindrop shawl, which is Christina's pattern, and this is how mine looks like. And it was really fun pattern, very easy but still very fun. And I think I just need to get more DK weight yarn. You can also knit this with fingering weight, but I really liked the DK weight yarn, so I think I need to get some beautiful DK weight yarn for raindrop shawl, which will be mine. I think Emma in Australia, she made a very pretty yellow one, and I thought that a yellow shawl would look really nice at summertime and also at springtime. Around Easter time I could be an Easter chick with a yellow raindrop shawl, but don't have the yarn for it yet, but I will get something nice. And I think that was all the... No, that's not all. Checking notes. Yes, Miss Marple knit along. Christina started at her group, a Knitter's Life podcast group. She started a Miss Marple knit along, and it was so fun. We have been well, on Finnish TV. They have just started showing Miss Marple season. I think it's there have been 3 different actors playing the role of Miss Marple, and now I can't remember the name of the actor who we are seeing at the moment on Finnish TV. But anyway, I started watching that Miss Marple TV series, and I thought, oh, Christina is having a knit along. That what could be a neat Miss Marple knitting? She wears shawls and she has cardigans, but I didn't feel like knitting cardigan at this moment. Well, I'm making shawls, but then someone mentioned at Christina's group on Miss Marple knit along thread that she would knit a tea cozy. And I even think that Christina I think she posted a photo on Instagram where she had tea and knitting, and perhaps I think she had a tea pot and a cozy on top of it. And I think somebody said that what a great idea, and I thought that, gee, that is a great idea, because I have a teapot but no tea cozy. So I got inspired, and this pattern is totally out of my head. And this is the finished tea cozy. Ain't it fun looking? This is my hand spun yarn. I've had this bluish, purplish, greyish yarn skin in my stash. I think it was in September last fall when I spun it, and I had no idea what to do with it. Hand spun is kind of difficult to me, because when I hand spin yarn. I like to look at it and not knit with it, which is totally stupid. But then when I thought that, oh, I have lovely red hand spun yarn skein in my stash, that would be a perfect yarn to make a tea cozy out of. And what I did is first I cast on 10 stitches, and I knit stockinette stitch around 5 or 6 rows, and then I just measured how many stitches I would need to cast on, and I did. I don't even remember now, probably about 100 or 110 stitches. And I made seed stitches at the bottom, and then I started making stockinette stitches, and I just kept knitting a couple of rounds and trying it on, decreasing a couple of stitches and then knitting around and then trying it on again, and this way I got it looking like this. And this part I made the last, and first I made a little mistake because this is done by short rows, and I accidentally made them wrong way around, meaning that this part was shorter and that part was longer. So I just ripped it out and made it again. And then I put 2 buttons. I crocheted a little flap piece here and put buttons on it. And then I just decorated with flowers, crocheted flowers, pattern totally out of my head. And I think this looks really nice. I'm super pleased. And after doing this didn't take me very long, and I think I posted on Instagram that what else should I knit or crochet which would go very well in that Miss Marple Knits Along theme. And I think also Emma again in Australia, hi Emma, I think she mentioned that why not make a pot coaster or hat. And I went through some 1920s inspired hat patterns, and they were very pretty ones. I think Gina made one 1920s type hat, and it looked really nice. But then I got to thinking that probably that's not really my style, and if I knit it, would I wear it? But then I thought that that pot coaster thing, that was a great idea, so thank you Emma for that great idea. And I made one. I just took different blue colors, leftover yarns from my scrappy blanket stash, and just started making one round, and then thinking that okay, I'll do that one next, and what else should I do, and I just went on and on and on. And this bottom part, which is felted knitting, I had a cowl made out of wool, but it was kind of, if the yarn is too well it has to be merino or merino blend so that it won't itch around my neck. And this one which I had it I think a bit over a year in my wardrobe, and I only wore it about 2 to 3 times because it always made me itch. And I thought that I need to recycle and do something with that cowl, and I threw it in the washing machine. I think it was, the degrees was 95 degrees centigrade, so very hot. And I felted the piece, then cut it out to make the cowl, cut the cowl and made one piece, and decided that I can just cut a piece of, I put a plate on top of that felted cowl and cut off the piece. But I had these blue yarns because I think blue matches with this so well. And the cowl was kind of yellowish, purplish kind of color, and I didn't like it. And then I decided that okay, I have the acid dyes which I ordered, so I soaked this piece in vinegar and water, and then made the dye with, I think I put only navy blue in it, and then I soaked it and started the boiling process, and the kind of ugly yellowish purplish color turned into this lovely navy blue, so it matches much better. So I just sewed it in so that I would have a thicker pot coaster. So this pot coaster matches my teapot quite well, don't you think? And that's my last finished object. I think I have to check my notes. Yes, I do. Then works in progress. Or should I? I'll show you before going to the whips. This is the Gina's sock recipe. Very fun pattern. I liked it a lot. So, my works in progress. The active works in progress. I do have the Cozy Memories blankets. Haven't touched those. I have a pullover, 3-in-1 pullover, which I haven't touched in 10 months. But active works in progress is this. Heidi Alander's Ruusupuu. This is the pattern. And I started it, and it's going to be so pretty. I'll show you the yarns and tags. Okay. This one is Marple-inspired Luonnotar. This one. And the colorway is hopea, which means silver. This one. And this is ilo, which means joy. So a very joyful knit. And I've done this far. So only doing the garter stitch part now, and after that I think I still have 2 or 3 those garter stitch repeat sections, and then I'll start the lace part. I have messy notes, sorry. I don't know if you can see very well, but this lace part, I think it looks really, really pretty. So I'm working on that and loving it. I'm even thinking that after I have done this, I will cast on another one. And I'm not probably I'm not going to use this Marple-inspired Luonnotar yarn again, even though I did go to Titity's web site to glance over the beautiful color ideas, but I ordered some very pretty yarn from Etsy in UK. Now I can't remember the dyer, but I'll show you probably in my next episode when I get those yarns, that I'm going to make another one, and it's going to be the second was kind of bluish grayish type of skin, and the other one is also not as pink or magenta as this one is, but more like white with a hint of pink and green and kind of rosy colors, and I think that shawl will look very nice also. But first I need to do that. And also what I haven't started yet, so actually you can't call this a work in progress, or can you if you have already made a yarn ball but haven't cast on yet. But anyway, I will cast on, I think, well, not during weekend, but I think next week, because the Tour de Sock is on, and the stage 2 pattern is this one. They have already released stage 3, but I will skip Okay, I'll show you the stage 3 pattern, which I'll skip because I don't have time, and I think there is too much going on here. And as you have probably already realized, that I'm not a sock knitter, and there is only one type of way that I get socks knit, is doing the toe up and 2 at a time. And I think these socks, you can't probably do these 2 at a time, so I'll skip stage 3. But this is not a very good photo, but I think I won't do this part, and I'll probably, if I can manage the chart, I will probably only do some part of this cable, probably not the parts that are the outer side, these ones here, but the middle parts, and I'll put that cable pattern in the middle of that sock. Oh, I forgot to show you the yarn. It's Berenvoles yarn, because I think this is going to work very well with cable knitting. It's barefoot sock, and the colorway was Ice Princessin. Yes. So this will be cable socks, or socks with cable pattern actually. So that's a whip, because I have the yarn ball, and I have the material to start any minute. So works in progress. Yes, that's all. Okay, section what I didn't do, I already told you I didn't do any of these. I have 2 cozy memory blankets going on, I didn't touch them, and also the Ecos from Karelia socks, which I showed you. Well, the swatches, not the socks, the swatches I showed you last time, haven't touched those. What I'm planning to do, well, those socks, which are kind of works in progress, but not, well, let's just say they are works in progress. So I will do those. And then, okay, I forgot to say at the beginning, today is Thursday, the last day in June. It's very sunny outside. I left work a little bit early because I wanted to podcast outside. It's quite hot here. It's almost 27 degrees Celsius, and the weather forecast, it's 3:10, and the weather forecast said that around 3 it will start raining, but it doesn't look like it's going to start raining. So, but I better move on so that I won't have to stop in a rainstorm or anything. So today is Thursday, the last day in June, and tomorrow my husband and I, we will try to Jyväskylä, because Houhi Lokateli is going to have a workshop which I'm taking part in, and it's called Approach to Sweater Design. And I'll read to you what the workshop is all about. Okay, Houhi writes here that we'll talk about how to find inspiration, following trends and adjusting them to what knitters want to knit, important measurements to consider when designing, what is ease, making notes for knitters on how to customize their garments, overview of different sweater constructions and how to choose the best suiting ideas, what makes a design unique, discussing some samples and their construction techniques, basic concepts on grading patterns to different sizes, and using spreadsheets to grade a very basic pattern. So this will be very interesting. And my goal is, well, what is my goal? Okay, design a sweater for me, because I'm not a pattern writer. As you have probably already realized, that when I get a pattern, I look at the picture, probably don't read the pattern, I just look at the picture and start making. And also making mistakes, but that's my mistake. But anyway, so my idea is to try to design a pullover or sweater I'm not going to say that I will write a pattern which everybody then can knit out of the pattern that I have designed, but we'll see. Anyway, I think this will be very interesting because I love his designs. I have only knit one. I have several patterns in my library and in my favorites, and behind me here is the one shawl which I have knit, and I was planning on wearing it while broadcasting, but because that's wool, DK weight, and it's plus 26 degrees centigrade outside, so I'm not wearing it, so I hung it up here, and I have notes somewhere. It's Imagine When, but you'll probably know that pattern already, but I'll show it to you. It's this one, Imagine When. And I love this shawl. I like the construction, and it's really pretty. She's a clever woman, that Houhi. So I will take that class and hopefully learn a lot about sweater designing and designing something for me, because I'm kind of short and wide. My shoulders aren't very wide. This front part is kind of normal to bigger side, and then my waist is a little bit too thick, but let's hop onto other subjects. Okay, so Houhi Lokateli. I have the section what I'm planning to do. I have also had this shawl pattern, the Way from Brighton, in my stash or library for a long time, and I really want to knit also this shawl pattern. I don't have the yarn because this is for DK weight. I could knit this out of lace weight yarn also, but I don't know. I either knit this out of lace weight, or I think this one would look really nice by using gradient type of yarn. And Wollelfe, they have great gradient yarn, so that could be one option, but I really want to knit this Away from Brighton because it's fun looking shawl. Okay, then what else do I have? I seem to have lost my notes. Don't know where they are. I have too many papers. Okay, there they are. So, giveaway. Okay, now it's time for the giveaway section. Okay. As I showed you the last time, this is the pen I made. I don't know is this a pen sweater? Pen cozy? Whatever you call it. This is used, oh, actually, this is the same hand spun which I used here. So, this was the giveaway, and I told you that I will throw something extra with this one. And because you have a pen, you need a notebook, and a basic notebook which I covered with, I cut out pictures out of a Finnish home ec magazine called Kodin Kuvalehti, and I put them here. So just basic, this type of notebook with this kind of cover, and there's a Finnish flag there. So let's see who wins this. I'll probably throw in a few tea bags and probably something else, but those are the ones I can show you now. So again, doing the old-fashioned way, Let's see who wins this one. Okay, it's Michelle. Congratulations. I'll ask for your address on Ravelry, and I will send you this pen and this notebook and some tea and candy. So that was fun. Congratulations, Michelle. And I have a new giveaway because I made this one and it was such a fun thing to do. And when I was going through my fabric stash, I found a piece of felted knitting. This used to be a bag which I had over 10 years ago, and then I kind of got bored with it and threw it away, not in a trash but in my storage bin, and I found it there and I thought, I could make a giveaway with the same idea which I used here. So I took yarn leftovers and mini skeins, and I used the same method with this other one. I just crocheted something and changed the yarns and crocheted something else. This is just pattern out of my head, and sewed it in to this felted. This is quite thick, so you can use this as a teapot coaster or pot coaster or whatever you desire to use it for. So this will be a new giveaway, and I had a question for this one, so you can answer this question in the episode thread. This is the 5th episode, June episode. So the question is, what are your favorite summer colors to use on your summer knitting? And my summer colors, I like reds and blues and purples and turquoise and aquas and bluish greens. I like black, all grays, pure white. But my summer colors, I think this is close to what I like to knit at summertime. This kind of magenta, pink kind of shades. So those are my summer colors. And what are your summer colors? What do you like to knit at summer but not at winter time or spring or autumn time? So answer that question, and you might be able to win this pot coaster. It has blues and white and yellow colors because the sun is shining, so I'm not sure if the colors are right on the screen, but blue, yellow, white and some greens. What else do I have? I think that's it. Yes, that's all for now. Have a wonderful July. Knit a lot, crochet a lot, enjoy the sunshine, warm weather, and if you are on the other side of the globe, have a wonderful upcoming winter time and keep warm. Yes, that's it. I'll just say that moikka, which is bye in Finnish.